We're all in search for that next 10X altcoin that's potentially right around the corner. As a matter of fact, what if I told you that you can predictably find these 10, 20, 50, even 100Xers in a relatively short amount of time, and it's right under your nose, you don't even know about it. So let's dive in right now. Welcome to today's video. So if you're looking for 10X gainers, then I have some great news. This is the video that you're going to want to watch from start to finish. I'm going to show you how you can find these gainers that go ahead and 10, 20, 50, literally get thousands of percentage points on your initial investment. I'm going to show you how you can find these and how they can practically be guaranteed. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so anything I say and pretty much tell you in this video, you need to look at it as if I'm dumb as rocks, okay? So this isn't financial advice. You do what you want with it because you will anyway. The first thing I want to do is dive into my computer right over here, and I really want you to understand something and grasp something really quickly. So if we take a look at something like Polkadot or Dot right over here, we can see that it has a $36 billion market cap. Now, when it comes down to being able to see 10X gains, you know, it's going to take a lot of movement, a lot of volume in Polkadot to actually have a 10X gain to go from 37 to 370. Now, when we work with smaller projects, smaller tokens and coins, it will be a lot easier to see that jump from 10X to, you know, from $1 to 10. For example, if we're taking a look at something like crypto, right? Like cryptocoin.com or crypto.com, CRO, it's going to be a lot easier to see a 10X from 10 cents all the way to $1 rather than it would be from, $2, $3, $4, $5 all the way up to 50. Now, again, it's relatively easier to see the type of jump because of the fact that the market cap is, again, relatively low in comparison to a lot of other coins out there. And again, obviously the lower it is, the potentially better it is as well, and I'll explain why in just a few moments. Now, I also want to go ahead and highlight something really important. Right over here, new study says that 80% of ICOs back in 2017 were scams. Now, this is pretty crazy to me. So if you read right over here, it says the research found that in 2017, over 70% of the ICO funding by dollar volume to date went to higher quality projects, although 80% of projects by number of shares were identified as scams. So back in 2017, when everybody was investing in these ICOs, what you need to understand is a lot of them, majority of them by share volume, was blatant scams. They stole people's money. So why is this important to understand? Well, because of the fact that Ethereum's creator, Vatalik right over here, he proposed a plan in order to combat this, in order to combat all the scams. And so the plan, if we read right down here, where is this? Right here, minimum viable DAI-CO, all right? So essentially what this would be is a way to lock investments, and you can pretty much withdraw your investment if it doesn't hit, like the actual project doesn't hit certain milestones. And that's the simplified version of it. But let's read a little bit different. Let's read a little bit deeper into this. The intention is that the voters start off by giving the development team, so AKA voters being investors, starting off by giving the development team a reasonable and not too high monthly budget, and raise it over time as the team demonstrates its ability to completely and competently execute with its existing budget. All right. So if you read the whole entire thing, it's actually really, really smart. It's a way of being able to invest, but being able to take your money out if it's a scam. Now, again, there's a lot more that goes into it, but the reason why I'm sharing this with you and letting you know about this is because of what I want to introduce you to here today. So right over here, you can see Trustswap. Now, I know a lot of, oh wow, this is the second take that I'm doing of this video, literally because the first file was corrupted. It was literally just at $4.15. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. This is slowly becoming one of the best projects, in my opinion, that's currently out there. Now, I'm not going to dive into the chart too much because I'm looking at the fundamental, the underlying fundamentals, the fundamental analysis of this particular project rather than the technical analysis of this project. So let's actually dive into Trustswap because I want to show you what is going on here. So Trustswap is a full-service digital asset ecosystem. Now, let's talk about the launchpad that they have to offer. And I'll talk about the launchpad and show you the launchpad in just a few moments, but it's actually very impressive on what they've been able to do. So, as a matter of fact, I just clicked, okay, so everything is being updated today. I'm happy that I redid this. So no wonder why it just went up, is because of the fact that, well, they just released a new launchpad, so people are buying in. Makes sense. Anyway, launchpad. In the traditional world of finance, large-scale investment firms called venture capital get priority to access to early-stage startups. Because of its exclusivity, the general public gets stuck by buying in at a later price, creating an unfair situation. So think about it like this. If you are X, Y, and Z Capital Group, and you had the ability to advertise or to purchase Uber before it became the Uber that we know, you had the ability to get it pennies on the dollar, and the average retail investor has to pay, X amount of dollars for it. So you can get it for pennies on the dollar, and then it goes public, and you can sell it for those dollars that retail investors are paying for. What Trustswap is trying to do is give us that unfair advantage and allow us to get into these initial offerings before it hits the public. So with Trustswap, you become the venture capitalist, you become the angel investor, and gain proprietary access to early stage startups by staking swap, which is important. I'll talk about in just a second. You get guaranteed access. The more swap you stake, the larger allocation you receive. Now back to the launch pad right over here. Okay, you can see the launch pad. If you just go to Trustswap and you open up the launch pad, you can see that there was 9, now there's 10 because they literally just released this. Over 12.5 million raised and 1 upcoming launch pad. So this is really cool. Essentially, you see right over here where it says stake 4,000 swap, that's the minimum requirement. Now, here's what's going to happen. I want you to take a look at the past results, but past results are not guaranteed future results. If you just take a look, the initial price was 10 cents for soda, right? So right over here, initial price is going to be 0.01. So 10 cents for soda. Right now, the all-time high was 71 cents, which is a 610% gain. And then we also have the current price, which is 198% gain. Then we have Modefi, which the initial price is 20 cents when this was actually a launch pad, and the all-time high was 2,005%, and the current price is $2.91, and that's a 1,300% increase. But you get it, right? Not every coin is created the same way though, right? If we take a look at Glitch Finance, we can see that the initial price was 9 cents, but it's currently trading at just under 6 cents. So the price is actually down negative 34%. However, the all-time high was 20 cents, and that's 122% gain. So if you were to go ahead and dump at 20 cents, then you would have literally doubled your money. Now, as you can tell, a lot of these do go ahead and have thousands of percentage points that are gained. But like I said, the chances of it pretty much being guaranteed, they're really high. I mean, they're really, really high. And there's a lot of different reasons as to why they're really high. So I would like to see, once we come back later on at a different date, even if you go and look at it now, depending when you're watching this, take a look at what happens with BitCash Pay. See what the all-time high is. See what it's currently trading at. Maybe it'll be less, maybe it'll be more. It is a penny, okay? It's literally a penny. So I'm interested to see what happens. But if we go ahead and just keep taking a look down here, we have SmartLock. Now this is interesting. It's a multi-million-dollar crypto project where, well, excuse me, it's where multi-million-dollar crypto projects are emerging every single day. Keeping their digital assets safe is crucial for both the teams and the communities. Through their audited token and liquidity locks, all right, so SmartLock, these assets can be securely stored and distributed on schedule to ensure confidence and peace of mind. Now, SmartLock use cases. This is really cool, okay? So what it can be used for: automated employee payments, subscription, time lock tokens, gifts and payments, will execution. Super powerful because automated employee payments, right? So think about this. If you want to go ahead and pay one of your employees in crypto, you'll be able to have the ability to do so using the automated employee payments ability. And if you read right over here, having payments delivered at an exact time and date to any employee through an accountable smart contract is possible. Subscriptions, set up and pay for weekly, monthly subscriptions using cryptocurrency. I could tell you one thing is that I'm in the e-commerce space, and that's how I make my living, is I sell stuff online. And one of the things that don't exist right now is the ability to check out with the recurring payment system on something like Shopify, for example. And it just doesn't exist. So this can be, for the first time, in something that allows vendors and merchants to create recurring payment systems with cryptocurrency, which can change the way e-commerce and the e-commerce landscape works. And again, not just with e-commerce, but that's what I'm looking at it as. Time locked tokens, lockup tokens, lockup team tokens and liquidity, and set time-based release schedules, allowing for simple and immutable transaction. Will execution, create a will on a smart contract that will automatically release funds to your loved ones after you pass away. That is exceptionally amazing. Sad, but exceptionally amazing. Gifts and payments, send an automatic gift to your son on his 18th birthday, weekly allowance, whatever it is that you want to go ahead and do for gifts, and much more, all right? So if you can pretty much imagine it, it can be done. So let's actually head over to SmartSwap, right? So venture capital firms invest billions of dollars into crypto companies via OTC, or over-the-counter trades, paying astronomical fees for lawyers and middlemen to oversee the deals and custody funds. TrustSwap removes the middleman and provides non-custodial, fully audited, and smart contract solutions for large players to transact over the counter securely, quickly, and with minimal fees. So I'm not going to dive too deep into this one, but what I will say is that there's enterprise and peer-to-peer escrow. So if we take a look at what it says under enterprise, it says large over-the-counter deals between two entities executed in a securely and trustless manner. Just like if you were to use smart locks, it's pretty much the same thing. So what you would go ahead and do is you would have this, contract, right? And what would happen is if this happens, then that happens. So if you send us $1 million, then you get this amount of tokens. If you send us $30 million, we'll give you this million amount of tokens, right? So that's just the use case as an example for an enterprise, however, the money doesn't get released until the tokens are here. So, you don't get the tokens unless the money is inside of the contract, and none of them get released as like an escrow service, right? So that's just one way to think about it. Peer-to-peer escrow. The flexible tool allows anyone to trade small or large currencies in any way that keeps both parties safe. So again, same exact thing, but on non-enterprise level. And let's dive deep into the tokenomics here. This is really interesting. Now, discounts, fees on TrustSwap services are reduced by 50% when using Swap. Pretty simple. If I have something for Swap, that I'm selling and I accept Swap, and you have Swap that you're willing to pay with, then the fees are slashed in half. Staking rewards. This is really cool. Every transaction paid in Swap rewards stakers with 80% of the transaction fee. 10% goes to the TrustSwap Foundation. So the way that the actual rewarding of your initial stake happens is, well, right over here. reward stakers with 80% of the transaction fee. Now, how the transaction fee, and again, math isn't my strong suit. I did drop out of high school. So we have, let's just say $100 that's transacted. 80 of those dollars go into a pool. And out of that pool, whatever your staking percentage is what you get from that transaction, all right? So that's how I understand it in regards to really simple terms. This is Crypto Normie, where I try to break things down as simple as humanly possible. So deflation, 10% of swap paid, 10% of swap paid in platform fees will be burned, decreasing the total supply. This really helps with the supply and demand, which will inevitably increase the actual total per coin eventually. So stability. Staking helps stability and stabilize the swap network and offers various rewards, which allocations I'll talk about in just a second. You have a swap score, and guess what? You get free money because you just get free airdrops by staking your swap. Governance. Stakers of swap will be able to vote on proposals and allocations from the TrustSwap Foundation Fund. Now, here's the other thing that I really want to talk about. We can see right over here, Q1 2021 is SmartLaunch with Mint. Now, what is Mint exactly? Well, on their Medium right over here, we can see if we scroll down right over here, where they are going to launch Mint. Now, what is Mint? Mint, you can create a fully audited token within minutes for $0 in fees. Now, Mint allows for complete customization, such as inflationary, deflationary, rebase, staking, and a lot more. Now, what's really cool is that you have the ability to go in there, create your own, and you can just literally go ahead and have the features that you want, and you can set your own customizations. And again, there's a lot that goes into this. There's so much that happens that TrustSwap in the background is pretty much the reason why it's going to be so successful, and the reason why it is so successful right now is because of the fact that team token locks prevent the token dumping, liquidity locks preventing rug pulls, and oh, rug pulls. Okay, anyway, Smart Mint is preventing rogue minting, which happens all the time, and especially when the actual projects aren't ones that haven't been vetted properly. Not only that, but preventing malicious contract modding. There's a lot that you can do with a smart contract that, quite frankly, is extremely malicious, that will pretty much screw the investor, in so many words, keeping it really simple. So again, this is really interesting. If we go down there and read how does this benefit swap holders like you and I, well, when someone creates a token on Mint, 0.5% of the tokens are taken from the total supply and are distributed accordingly. So 0.4% of those tokens are placed into a 30-day mining pool, and 0.1% goes towards the growth of TrustSwap Inc. So example, let's say I staked 1,000 swap. The total amount of swap in the mining pool is 1,000. So we would have a 10% stake of the pool because of the fact that we have 10% of the 1,000. So therefore, we would earn, or you would earn, 10% of the tokens on that payout period. And payout periods happen regularly over the 30-day window. So right over here, you can also read that since a significant amount of swap will be held in these mining pools while earning token rewards, this will further assist in reducing the circulating supply of swap, making swap more scarce, which again is going to inevitably lead to the price of swap reflecting off of this single-handedly. Why is it important, right, that we have right over here, we have SmartLock? Well, the reason being, and what it is essentially it's a way to ensure that you don't get scammed by a team running off with your money, your projects, running off with your money, and basically projects getting pulled from decentralized exchanges. Teams can dump tokens, issue more tokens, or create an infinite mint feature, and so many ways to scam. That's why if we take a look right over here at the fact of what Smart Mint does, it prevents malicious modding, and it prevents rogue minting, where it stops the actual project owners from creating an infinite mint feature and being able to just do a lot of shady stuff, right? A lot of shady things that go down. So TrustSwap also has liquidity locking as well, which is really cool. So what liquidity locking essentially is if you just look on the screen right over here, it's, liquidity locking is basically time release based of, locking of a certain milestone. So when liquidity is locked, it's less of a chance the project runs away with your money, and they have milestones, and if they don't hit those milestones, you can actually go ahead and pull your money out, which makes things a lot safer as an investor. So if they don't hit these milestones, then unfortunately they don't get to keep our money, or fortunately for us, they don't get to keep our money. So again, you can just see over here with all the locked tokens and the milestones that count down as well. And we can see how many of these tokens are locked in, all right? So, there's roughly 120 million, and this is going to be unlocked in 1,036 days if they hit all of these milestones, right? And that's what keeps these particular projects very secure, rather than us investing in speculation, because that's what happened back in 2017. Everybody's investing into speculation, and that's why 80% of these coins were scams and complete rug pulls and pretty much gone. Your money's gone. So when it comes down to locking and liquidity, and just the fact that our money is able to be pulled out if they don't hit certain milestones, that's phenomenal. So if we just take a look one more time back over here, the current price is $4.50. They just released a launch pad, so now it's $4.56. We can see that it continually goes up and up as they launch more launch pads, and that's really interesting to me because launch pad projects are going to keep on coming out, and they're going to become more and more credible. So as time goes on, this is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and more credible, with more projects being launched on TrustSwap. So if you want something that's going to 10x, the launchpad projects, they're gonna 10x. I mean, it's inevitable. So that's how I can pretty much say and tell you that this is a guaranteed 10x. I'm not a financial advisor, don't listen to anything I say. I'm pretty much dumb, stupid. I dropped out of high school, you get it. So long story short, you can practically, and I gotta say practically for legal reasons, make 10x returns. However, swap itself, I do believe, is also a 10xer by itself. I have the true belief that it has the potential to go over $100 plus. In the short term, $10? Oh, absolutely. If we're talking years down the line being 40, 50, 60, even more, yeah, I 100% must conclude that yes, that is possible. But for the short term, we can definitely be seeing $10 or more, which would double your bag. And I will say TrustSwap is one of the safest positions that I currently hold inside of my portfolio. And I do hedge TrustSwap very heavily against the other speculative plays that I'm in. So let's just say, for example, I put $100 into a semi-speculative play that I believe has true upside potential if I'm correct. Then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put anywhere from $200 to $400 into swap, or another one of my coins and tokens that I know for a fact are safe plays. So that's how I'm hedging against all these riskier plays. I already know this is going to be just a home run. It's just sitting on it and waiting for it. So that's swap. I highly recommend it, and do what you want, but I'll see you in the next video.